Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Prototype.
I have him. Get laser range and I'll hold it there.
Before we get started, there's a couple places that, well, it's good to revisit to see how they're going. First off, Times Square. Still not really that great here, but this is where we fought Elizabeth Green, if you forgot. And her hole is still here, relatively. Even though we have this rock here, I kind of want to pick it up. But it doesn't look like it's a pick-up-upable thing. So I can't throw it at people. And all over Times Square is just kind of dirt and stuff, and honestly I don't think the dirt looks really good. It's weird in my opinion. And a taxi's still driving. What the... New York cannot work without taxis. However, here's a more interesting place that we just kind of destroyed last time, which is the blood tox facility. For some reason, the military are still guarding this place. Almost in the same kind of way that they were doing it during the mission. Except everything's blown up and blood tox is not being produced here anymore, so I don't know why they're even here. Other than to keep jerks away. It'll be good to not have to deal with blood tox anymore, and why is that thing rolling? It is also incredibly frightening because of how jagged it is.
Negative, take positions.
Jagged looking bullet kind of thing, but it's off of a silo. It's deadly. Don't touch it. But now, we're going to the lookout point. One place that you wouldn't necessarily be going ever, simply because it's out of the docks, and there's no reason to ever go to the docks. But that is going to be our third and last location for our contact. And last time we unlocked new upgrades. These are our final upgrades of the game. These last 4. But because we're into our final round of upgrades, let's buy everything else. It's time to maximize our movement, because we're really behind in terms of that. In addition, we can maximize our health, but of course, keeping Adrenaline Surge away from me, because that's my own personal challenge. Get the maximum health back from consuming people, and it looks like I'll have to be going into a military base at some point for the maximum artillery strikes, and also machine guns. Other than that, there are 2 final upgrades to get. One is a combat ability, and it's our final attack. The Snap Kick Launcher. The other one is our final power, which I will be getting next video. Because the Snap Kick Launcher is not really that useful. It's another one of those aesthetic abilities. You have a lot of attacks that are just one-hit kills, but the Snap Kick Launcher is kind of fun to use, simply because it makes people go far into the air. If you remember back to the first video, I actually was able to use it in the introduction prologue. So our lookout point is all the way down there. But before we all go all the way over there, let's show up the Snap Kick Launcher. And also get some health. The Snap Kick Launcher is, well, it's alright to pull off, because it's pretty much the same as our uppercut launcher. Instead of using the light attack button, you use the heavy attack button. Now, before we get this mission started, let's recap what's going on. We defeated Elizabeth Green, and so the infection is kind of going away slowly. Because if you kind of notice, we're not dealing with hunters pretty much at all anymore. McMullen killed himself, so we didn't really learn much from him other than the fact that we are the virus, and there goes the car. And third, we destroyed the Bucktox facility because really it's not really much of a use to us anymore. And it's kind of served its purpose. I was kind of hoping that this guy would be next to the wall, but apparently he just likes nodding his head. The weird necks in this game, I don't understand it. But anyway, let's get away from this rattling horde and over to our wonderful location, which apparently is a payphone all the way at the edge of the docks. And it's a good lookout point when looking at the Reagan over there. So what does our contact have to say this time? Who is our contact anyway?
I thought it was time we talked. You don't want to do that.
I've done your job for you. I've broken the back of the infection.
In a few hours, this whole place will be glass.
Even Randall's not crazy enough to nuke Manhattan.
You're wrong. He was at Hope in '69. He'll do anything to stop the infection. If you help me stop him, you get your secret.
There's no way to get to that ship without being blown out of the sky.
I have a way. Randall wants a colonel named Taggart. He sent me to find him. He's our key onto the Reagan. Taggart's massing a large force of helicopters at these locations. If we don't move now, he'll muscle his way out of Manhattan in a fleet of helicopters, and Randall might not be able to stop him. Mercer, take out the helicopters. I'll try and pin down Taggart's location, and don't let any of them get out of the city. Taggart could be on any one of them.
Why does it seem like I'm getting the short end of this deal? Well, Taggart has access to the helicopters. He can get out anytime he wants. I can fix that.
Captain Cross is our contact? Okay, there's some fishy business going on there, because, well, technically we haven't seen Captain Cross since we beat him up. And also the cutscene after we finished off Elizabeth Green. Why would he be helping us? More importantly, why is this mission called The Last Man? Wouldn't The Last Man technically be Randall because we're trying to go after him? And not this guy Taggart? And this tank is annoying? It's all kind of weird because, well, technically he would be our last man because he's the last man that we have to get to before we get to the last man. So he would be the penultimate man. The title doesn't make a lot of sense. Then again, what really does make a lot of sense? Anyway, on to this mission.
Taggart's aircraft are somewhere near here.
Somewhere near here? How about everywhere? Pretty much the goal of this mission is to make sure that all of the helicopters that are targeted on your minimap are destroyed. And don't get away. If one gets away, the mission fails. The thing that makes this mission a bit difficult is the fact that, well, you're going to be exploded a lot. Like so. And like that. And apparently, wait a minute. I don't know what happened there, because technically I should have died there. I don't know why it decided to let me live, but I'm just gonna go with it. So this mission can be either a mix of easy or hard, depending on the approach you do. You really don't have a lot of time to get to each helicopter before it starts going away, so you really can't be fancy about anything. So really there's only two ways about going about this. Either hijacking the helicopters, shooting them down if you're able to do that. Okay, technically three. But we're going to be seeing a mix of hijacking and destroying them by helicopter. Destroying them by helicopter obviously is not the best way of doing it, but if you're able to do it, go for it. And missile launchers and guns are everywhere. Also buildings, apparently, because my long shot grab is not able to do what it's supposed to be doing. If you don't have the long shot grab at this point, you definitely need to get it, because it's going to help you immensely here. Combine that with the air dashes that you have, your flying kick, and also just simply gliding, you should be able to get up to all of the helicopters no issue.
Nothing left.
Alright, so that's one area down now to get to the second one. Let's see if we can do this a bit stealthy now, because, well, nobody knows I'm around. Let's see if I can get rid of some of the guns before I get over there. There's a lot of helicopters. And apparently they fortified the arena over here, which, even after this mission, it's not fortified anymore, even though I don't really destroy it all that much. So it's really only for the purposes of this mission.
Everyone has to die.
Technically, they actually do. It's kind of a stupid thing for Alex to say, is that, especially in such a way, but in terms of the motivation we have for this mission, the reason why we're doing it is to get to Taggart, because apparently he's fleeing the island by helicopter. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information saying what helicopter he's taking, where he's going, or even if he's on any of the helicopters at all. So we're pretty much flying as blind as we possibly can for this mission. Do we even know what Taggart looks like? The answer really is no, because we're throwing people out left, right, and center, hoping to find someone who's pretty much different than Taggart may look like. He has a name, so he obviously is supposed to be looking different. Maybe. Overall, this mission is a bit clumsy. Alright, time to get to that other helicopter before it gets away, because it's really far away now. Except that everything cannot leave me alone. And it's usually guys that are on the rooftops just shooting at me blindly. Now, let's talk a little bit about, well, what Captain Cross was saying about pretty much the next crisis that's going to be happening with New York. Really, at this point, the infection is kind of slowing down. It's reached its peak and is declining rapidly like it should. Pretty much by nature. However, of course, Randall, being someone who has seen what happened at Hope back in '69, pretty much is... I would kind of understand that his character has a bit of post-traumatic stress based on what he's seen there, so obviously he's going to completely overreact and be completely afraid of what could happen. Which is why there's talk about nuking Manhattan, leveling the entire city to make...
No aircraft, no personnel, no survivors.
To make sure that the infection does not survive, ever.
Target has escaped. Alert all points.
Now our final way, and actually the quickest way of taking out the helicopters, is by missile launcher. Even on hard difficulty, the transport helicopters can be taken out by just a single shot. And of course, apparently they also home in on the helicopters, so you are pretty good in this department. To avoid just all the trouble, you should just go for this route.
Damn you, Taggart. Damn you for making me do this.
And so, we have destroyed helicopters! Was Taggart inside one of them? Maybe. But most likely not, otherwise we kind of screwed up our chances on getting on the Reagan. So this mission is kind of a bit clumsy that way. But hopefully we'll find Taggart soon enough. And hey, $50 billion of expenditure right now. Pretty great. So, getting onto the wagon is our next step, and apparently we're having Cross help us do this. But why is Cross helping us? How is he our contact? He's obviously not an ally. There's nothing to say that he would ever be our ally. Especially because of the huge gap in between us seeing him and then beating him up. So what are his motives? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, apparently, in this moment, and our motives may be the same or parallel at this point, but he's gonna diverge into his own thing soon enough. We'll see what happens when that time comes, though. So next time, we'll continue on and get ourselves onto the Reagan. See you next time, everyone.
Hope was a Blackwatch project. The goal of the experiment was to create a viral weapon that could be used to target specific racial types. But Hope went wrong. A mutated virus infected all those people. Drove them mad. Their bodies crawled with hell. And at the center of it all was Elizabeth Green. And somehow she survived. Endured the virus, absorbed it, changed it, whatever. Her unique biology inspired this new bioweapons research program. This became Gentech. And Alex Mercer worked for them. There was one leak too many and Randall stepped in to shut it down. No one was safe. Mercer fled the scene with a sample of the virus, took it as insurance if he needed it. Blackwatch cornered him at Penn Station. With his back to the wall, he unleashed the virus on Manhattan. What Mercer did is beyond forgiveness. But there is no Alex Mercer anymore. The virus didn't just kill him, it became him. Copied his body down to the genetic level. It became me. I am the virus. And I, in turn, released Elizabeth Green to infect the city a second time. Now she's dead. Alright, but Randall won't accept that the virus can be stopped. And with Firebreak, he'll level the city. Just like Hope. But now, Hope has one final riddle to give up. Green was pregnant when they found her in '69. What happened to that child?
I suppose your answer is out there on the Reagan.
All I know is I'll get my answer from Randall.
Solid wood furniture. Damn right.
This is Ghost 3384. We are go.